All right, hello. I have restarted the stream. Didn't change anything else. All I did was I had my last stream. I changed the bitrate to 6,800, and that didn't work, so I restarted. Let's see if this is coming across well on your end. I think so. All right, let's move on. So I am currently breaking down my first stage. I have two FLT800 fuel tanks with a couple of, oh, and now my program's crashing. Let's wait for the program to respond. Okay, looks like I might have to make a decision, a choice between one Kerbal Space Program and high quality streaming experience. Well, we can play around with some OBS Studio effects. Here, I'll transition you to preview. Oh, oh, I can make multiple scenes. Cool. So I'm just gonna have a waiting scene. And in that scene, I will add a source. It will be a picture. I'll just pick an image. Okay. Pick the file. Again, I wish I could show you, but I just don't want to risk it. Okay. Unload image when not showing. Da, 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 da. Let's make this as large as possible. I'll do that, sure. Here, and now I'm going to transition you. Boom. And now you are in the waiting zone. I'm not sure if you can actually still hear me or not. Let's try this. I'm not sure if you can actually steer. Ah, yes, you can. Awesome. You can still hear me, but you can't see me. Boom. There I am. So, Kerbal Space Program is still crashing, so I'm going to close that program. I may need to reduce the settings that I'm streaming at, but let's try one more time. Oh, delicious. Well, I hope you are all having a pretty wonderful Sunday. I know this weekend for me was a lot of lying around, trying to relax and regain some calm, my internal tranquility, so that I can work as hard as I want to for the week that's coming up. I was also fortunate enough to book a couple of trips, so I will be seeing my family in the summer, and I will be visiting Morocco actually sometime later this year. Very exciting. I've heard wonderful things. See, now I just why do you do this? So it went to show you my Kerbal Space Program, then ended up showing you my desktop, which I don't care. My desktop doesn't have anything important, but it's just one of those security flaws that I really want to avoid. Very annoying. Okay, let's just hop back to Kerbal Space Program. I will most likely end up just deleting this live stream. This is gonna make my waiting picture more fun. Can I add text overlay? Text, yes I can. Okay, adding some text in. Alignment, center. Vertical alignment, center. And we'll drop that down here, transition that in. It's not well centered, but good enough. Like the pros. All right, Kerbal has loaded on my end. Can I get it working again? Window capture, Kerbal Space. Why you do this, man? Like if I transition you over, yeah, you see my desktop. I want you to see my desktop. Let's just add. There you go. I change the capture method, I guess. Cancel. We're almost there. Trust the process. There you go. So now I should be streaming at 6,800 kilobits per second, which is higher, just like 3-4x what I was before. I have excellent connection. You can see my Kerbal Space Program. Let's get going. Hopefully it doesn't crash. If it does, we're just gonna lower the bit rate and restart. Okay, so here's my first stage. It's comprised of one FL T800 fuel tank, a couple of aerodynamic bits and bobs. We have our aileron, just a fin. Let's call it we have a symmetric fin setup, as well as a couple of nose cones on top of these boosters. I can use Control Z to get that back. So the first stage is it's just kind of a very generic basic stage, which comes with a fairly reasonable, I mean, can I make this the launch assembly? Can I make this the launch assembly? Yes. So right now I think this delta V this 2174 is applicable to this second stage, not the first stage. But anyway, it's very generic, gets you like 22,500 delta V. What we want is something around, we were talking about this prior to our technical difficulties. We go to Trip Planner, get rid of what's going on in the background here. We go from Kerbin to the MUN. We want, so 5,120 would get us onto the MUN's surface, but we only need to go into low orbit, so we can cut 600 off. So roughly 4,600 delta V. And with this rocket all in one, we hit about 4,300, so we need to make some adjustments. So let's go ahead and do that. So one option, I mean, what's our thrust to weight? Can we just slap on some more fuel? Probably. Engineering report right here. Our thrust to weight is very good. We're looking at, oh, you can't see it. It's about 3.43. You only need to aim between 1.5 and 2. So we could just pack on the fuel and increase our delta V that way. So why not? I don't think it's the cleanest way to go about this, but and then I guess the question I ask myself then in terms of staging is which part, whether the first or the second stage, do we want to add in that extra fuel? I think it's easier to work with this this second stage. I mean, it does have it does have command and control. If I expand this, go away. Come on. So there are some problems in my opinion with Kerbal Space Program too. I know that's not a hot take by any stretch. But like I should be able to open up. There it is. Nope, that's not it. Yeah, there you go. So now you can see what I would, now you can see the inside of the second stage. So the engine and the fuel tank are in this compartment, and then everything above is scientific or in nature or use. So the solar panels power the batteries, which power the science, and then we have our communication and command and control up at the top. Unfortunately, one thing I haven't looked into is how to make things as symmetric as possible, so we can tell ever so slightly off center. let's slap on a fuel tank and onto our second stage. One of these smaller T200s, and then the engine is the classic Terrier. And we pack that on. Does that get us over 4.6, was it? Yeah, so that gets us to 4.8. We're ready to go to the Mun. Is the... so this is what we were using to build up that second stage. It's a fairing. So I'm not... What annoys me is, so now the fairing's gone. If I send this rocket to the launch pad, is it not going to have a fairing? Or is it just hidden? I can't tell. Ugh. Come on. Very, very annoying. Like, so it straight up got rid of the fairing. Just gonna create something kind of ugly. There you go. And then create another fairing stage, pull that up. And then create one more. It's gonna come in a little bit. Whoop, 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 whoop. How far can we go? Not the prettiest rocket in the world, but we're just going for... Does it make it to the moon or not? So 4.6, so we're really on the edge here. Engineering manager, no, sorry, trip planner. I'll get my ugly face out of the way here. This is what I was looking at before. You could still, my ugly face is still in the way. So 4.6, again. 5.12 minus 600. Let's just round that up, call that 4.6. So let's go. Good plan if you like crashing. I do like crashing. Send it. Oh, one more thing. Let's make sure that we have our orders of operations working. So we shall go back into studio mode, not move that. How do I move my face? There you go. Let me check the stream. Does it do what I want? Nice. All right, 4.6. We're ready for launch. If you, dear viewer, are wondering why I'm wearing a funky hat, first of all, this is my rave hat. So I love to bring this to music festivals. It keeps the sun out of my face and adds a little flair to my outfit. But for the most part, the reason I'm wearing it today is because I haven't showered. And nobody wants to see that. Ooh. It's rocking a little bit. That kind of makes sense because the boosters are sitting off the ground at the moment. Well, let's fix that. Did I even change the order of the staging? Okay, so I do not want the fairing to come. I can change it here, can't I? Nice. That's super helpful. Okay. So the boosters and the main engine should fire off at the same time. I can change the main engine and say that the initial thrust should be 0. I don't know if that's the thrust limiter. I don't know if that's initial thrust or full thrust, or like the thrust limiter throughout the entirety of of its operation. So maybe we won't touch that. So engine boosters fire off. Once the boosters are empty, I'm going to want to drop them. I will then disconnect, and then I'll probably by that point be past the Q point. I will be experiencing a lot less atmospheric drag, so I can get rid of the fairing. And then once the fairing is gone, I can fire off the... That's tough. Do I want to... I don't know which will come first. The popping of the fairing or the the firing of the second stage engine. Let's pop the fairing first. When we can always come back. Okay, so, and then once we separate the stages, we're gonna want that second engine to fire off pretty much right away. Okay, what the heck? The Delta V just went to nothing. That's not good. So maybe we won't pop the fairing. Does that bring our Delta V back up? Like this makes no sense. What? Why was it so much higher before? Whatever. Let's fire it off. So yeah, it started at about 3,600. We're already at 2,700. Useless. So I'm going to tilt the rocket. The swivel gives us great command and control of that first stage. I probably should have held it for a little longer. We want to get to about 90. We're kind of in that ballpark. We're about to drop our first stage. Bye-bye. Okay, so the engine's still working. 437 meters per second. Let's get to the rocket a little bit. Trying to keep it straight here. The head is definitely causing us to experience unwanted drag. See, now I have plenty of Delta V left. I don't understand what the heck is going on here. But we're going to want to get to apoapsis of about 80,000, I believe. At this point, we're already, once we get to about 30,000, well, yeah, meters, we could probably drop the fairing. Although that, I did see in another video that caused significant Delta V loss, something like 1,000. So we may not want to do that. Okay, doing okay. Apoapsis still climbing to 30. I'm not sure how to increase our time warp using the keypad. Good. We have great charge. Drop that. And I mean, let's have a look at our map. So right now we're still on crash course. We're gonna catch up to our apoapsis anytime soon. So we're currently at 30 and our apoapsis is at 35. We're gonna need to drop this engine real soon. Let's go back to our view here. Beautiful view of the Earth. So let's drop it. Bye-bye. And then we can also drop the fairing. Oh no! Oh no! What happened? What happened? It didn't drop. So we're gonna have no charge. Probably can't perform science. This is not good. This is not good at all. Our apoapsis is still climbing, but not by a lot. We're going to want to lean our rocket over a little more. And we'll probably slow it down. Turn it over a little bit. Like that. Yeah, so like we're not making it to the moon. There's no way. Where is she? Oh, I still have another vehicle flying around. Yeah, there's... Look where the moon is. So I still need to learn a thing or two about this game, clearly, because I thought that was a reasonable launch attempt, and we barely got anywhere. Like, we were gonna crash 30,000, I don't know, tens of thousands of kilometers away from our launch site. On the same side of Earth, though. Okay, so I'm just gonna bring this back. Revert to VAB. By the way, if you ever play this game and you see those buttons, buyer beware. If you revert to VAB or revert to launch, and you had performed a mission and gotten some research points or did something actually successful towards the game, and you revert, you lose it all. So those buttons look tempting. Don't press them willy-nilly. Only do it when you experience something like this where you clearly need to start from scratch and rethink your flight. All right, I'm going to cut it off here. I'm glad we were able to get 6,800 kilobits per second streaming. I'm sure it'll be higher quality, and I'll work on my Kerbal Space Program in the meantime to get something that will get us to the moon. Anyways, thanks for sticking around. Appreciate you being on, and we'll see each other tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.